Hi Libra, welcome to your mid-September 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So, the heart of the matter is the Seven of Wands. This is a card of feeling like you have to defend yourself, or perhaps you know that you need to put your foot down about something and say, you know, this is how it's going to be. The Seven of Wands is a card to me of not, in some cases it can be almost like defensiveness, where you feel like you're being attacked in some way, that somebody is maybe questioning your competency, if this is on the job, or just creating kinds of, trying to create doubt within yourself. And you know, it's funny, I'm saying like in personal relationships, trying to create doubt within you by, you know, picking at you and forcing you to kind of defend yourself. I was reading, I think it was yesterday, something about the narcissist, maybe it was a video, and how they do things like that, or even like get mad, like just blow up, and it trying to almost imply that it's your fault that they're mad, that you did something to trigger it. And so the response is just to try to like defend oneself and say, I didn't do that, or whatever. I want you to look at this dynamic in your life and see if there's any area where you feel like you're always having to explain yourself. Explaining yourself is defending yourself. And if somebody just doesn't get you and they just are like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? Even if it's a so-called friend, you really should look at it, because that person's lack of acceptance of you as you are could easily be a ploy to keep you in this fighting, you know, defensive posture, defensive mode, so that you're just constantly trying to explain your reason for doing things when you have no reason to, you have no need to do so. And with Libra, you know, you tend to have this desire for people to approve of you. And I think that's human nature. I think most people want, you know, other people's, I don't know about approval, but we want to be on the same page with other people for sure. The only thing is that at what cost? So I'm not saying that it's strange for you to want this, but just that you have to realize that sometimes people withhold their approval so that they can get more out of somebody, including in the workplace. They do this too, where they will kind of act, they'll keep you on your toes by acting like they're not sure if you're good enough. And, you know, based on someone's childhood, that could really feel familiar. And that idea of having to prove your worth could be something that you have done for a long time, and it's just part of your nature. So just reflect upon that and see if that's true for you. In the past position, we have the Ace of Cups. And really, this may, if you have met somebody that is very caring and you feel that sense of connection on a soul level, the Seven of Wands becomes all the more apparent that you're in the wrong place. You're not in a place where you are appreciated, in a relationship where you're appreciated, in a job that you're appreciated. Ace of Cups could be a new job offer that is from a healing profession, something that's much more in alignment with either spiritual or creative goals. And maybe you're in a very competitive kind of conflict-oriented job where it feels very contentious sometimes and not caring, where people don't seem to have regard for one another, and you really are welcoming this change. But by the same token, it's important to note that anywhere you go, you can bring that Seven of Wands energy with you. And this is one of the reasons why you have to look within yourself. You can't just look to what other people are doing, because I do think that it can show up anywhere. And the first thing that you have to realize is that you're not here for anybody else. You're not here for anybody else's approval. And even on the job where you're supposed to do a good job, you're here to do a good job and to serve the people that you're serving. You're serving the actual clients or customers. And the people who are kind of monitoring you or evaluating you, those people, they're going to do what they do. And you don't have any control over that. Ace of Cups, too. It might be that this is something that you're going to be doing on your own. Maybe you're starting a healing business, and you're going to have that kind of autonomy to do so. Maybe you're getting away from the rat race, and it's just a matter of time. The higher message, Page of Pentacles, goes along with this. This is like kind of practical energy, and as a spiritual message, talking about new endeavors of a practical nature. Sometimes this can also mean money, small amounts of money, or even like being a student. This is in the spiritual position, so it's more than just mundane advice or looking at a situation. It's more on the spiritual level. And so with pages being like in the beginning stages of something, it might be, just encouraging you, if you have started something that on your own that is close to your heart, not to abandon it, even if the Seven of Wands could be getting blowback for it. Maybe the Seven of Wands is friends and family saying, "Why are you doing this? That's not going to make you any money. Why did you decide to become a full-time artist? You know how difficult it is." And you know what? Maybe sometimes those people are right in their observation, but it still is your life. You have to find out what is viable for you and what isn't. Nobody else can do that for you, and nobody else should, unless they are being asked to bankroll you, and then they have some say. But if it's just a matter of them sticking their nose in, you have to understand something, is that a lot of people feel a sense of, I think, being threatened when somebody they know is going after their dreams, because it really puts them on the hot seat in their own life. Like, why aren't I doing this? It highlights their own dreams that they have deferred. And it's very uncomfortable to see somebody else pursuing their dreams when you're not. Because, life is so short that the idea of like, oh, that's not practical or something like that, I think that's like so overblown, and really I feel like it also can indicate a sense of perhaps I don't know, like somebody who is afraid, that the time is slipping away for them, and therefore they are going to die with the dream still in them. I remember Dr. Wayne Dyer used to quote that. And I think that was from a short story. But, and I think it was Tolstoy or something. Okay. What crosses you is the Star card, and this is a card of hopes and wishes, healing. It's in the challenge position. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, you may feel this sense of the odds being against you, the deck stacked against you. With the Ace of Cups, it's a situation too of like new love coming into one's life, and in the past position, and perhaps there is somebody new in your life, but you're still defensive because of the past. And the Star card could be like, almost like being cynical because you have experienced disappointment before, and you just are like, yeah, right, this will work, this will end well. And while it's understandable to feel that way, it's not going to get you where you want to be. So it's important to always keep your heart open, even when it feels like you've been hurt like 1,000 times. But because the Star card is faith in the unseen, in unseen forces, and just faith in general, where you have to step out in faith in order to accomplish your goals. Anybody like who starts their own business, they're stepping out in faith because they don't know if it's going to succeed, how much it's going to succeed, or if you're starting a new relationship, you have no guarantees that the other person will not leave you at some point, or that you won't leave that person. But you go into it with good intentions, hopefully. And that's what the Star card represents. What's coming in, or the advice, is the Three of Cups. This is a card of celebration. So something to celebrate, a happy occasion. Believing in yourself is one such thing. Also, just don't worry, be happy. Living your life saying what if is no way to live. So perhaps you're realizing that more, and knowing that when you start to really enjoy life more, and that means by just doing things that put you in that feeling state of just kind of like being loose and happy, carefree, and not needing to overthink things, being an air sign, overthinking things, that you can attract in that wonderful jovial state of mind, you can attract good things to you. And maybe you're out with your friends and you're celebrating that you're starting your own business, and you're just having such a good time. Somebody comes up to you, and it turns out that becomes a relationship for you, a person that you would have never met them if you had stayed at home. And it was all because you were willing to be happy. You made the choice. You know, you've heard the phrase, happiness is a choice. Some people, they absolutely get furious at that phrase because they feel like that's not true. That's not true. But ultimately, it is true that happiness is a choice. Because certainly we can find things to be unhappy about if we look around. If not within your own life, within life in general. And sometimes, people who have a relatively happy life, they throw themselves into some cause and they're trying to eradicate an outer thing because it makes them feel unhappy, or maybe it makes them feel guilty that they are having such a good life and somebody else isn't. And so their motive is really kind of a little bit tainted, because they're not coming from a place of simple desire to be of service, but they're feeling guilty. They're feeling like they don't deserve what they have. And that, to me, has to, we have to eradicate those feelings, because it's not true. You deserve to be happy, you deserve to celebrate, and you deserve to work someplace and be of service and have people appreciate what you do. You deserve, Libra, to be in a relationship where a person sees you as a whole being. Not as just a sex object, not just as a wallet, not as a co-parent, but as a whole being who is imperfect, but that's okay. Doesn't mean that your spouse, your partner, is never going to point something out to you about your characteristics. That doesn't make them a bad person. But if it's happening more times than they are praising you, then it's a problem, because it's showing that they have more negative thoughts about you than positive ones. But the answer isn't to make a case or plead your case to them that you really are okay. That's not the answer. The answer is to realize that you're not compatible with this person because they're not understanding how awesome you are. It's just as simple as that, right? And same thing with the workplace. The outcome is the High Priestess, which is a very spiritual card. Also a card of you going within yourself. The only person that you can change is yourself. Knowing, be still and know, I think would be true of the High Priestess. And yeah, I mean, I think that some of you may be starting a business that is a heart-centered business that has to do with healing, or what I'm doing, if you want to call that. I don't know if you'd call that part of the healing profession. I guess so in some way, but the occult, the new age, spiritual, business, heart-centered, soulpreneur, I think they call it. But those kinds of things may be appealing to you right now. Even the star card is a card of Aquarius, the sign Aquarius. And Aquarius is a sign that's associated with intuition. So something in the intuitive arts, maybe. And if this is a relationship, perhaps this relationship is telepathic, where the two of you are communicating not just with the mouth and the mind. I mean, now not just with the mouth, but with the mind. And because of this, you feel this sense of affinity with this person at a deeper level. Again, getting that Ace of Cups. And you feel like you can trust this person. Maybe it'll take you a little time because you have been burned before. And that's normal. I certainly wouldn't expect somebody to just get over something when it may have been really bothering them for quite a while. But in any case, I hope that you found this helpful to you, Libra, and if you'd like a personal reading, the link to my website is below. Take care. Bye.